Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for all of you for coming for today's festival. Before I start, I seek blessings. There are so many qualified and exalted Vaishnavas sitting in the audience. I am nowhere qualified to be sit here and talk, but somehow I ended up here. So microphone is also
In ecstasy.
ecstasy. Yeah, sure. So please give blessings and please keep me in your prayers so that I can share whatever I heard. All those things that I'm going to share is not my personal realizations. These are all realizations from my spiritual master and other senior Vaishnavas that I heard the lectures from. So please bear with me and let's move on to class. So Srila Prabhupada says that Nrsimha is Krishna himself. Like most of us know, Nrsimha is Krishna himself, but sometimes it's very difficult for some of the people to accept how if he is Krishna, Krishna is playing with gopis, playing flute and be nice and calm, and then you see at Nrsimha and then he is ferocious, and sometimes it's hard to say that he's to people who doesn't know about Lord Nrsimha to say that he's God, So one time what happened at my workplace, so they're all going out for lunch, team lunch, outing, right? So I said, oh no, I was new to that particular team, so I was there only for a month. So that's the first lunch going out. So I said, oh no, I don't eat outside. So they said, why? I said, oh, I have these restrictions. I don't eat meat. I don't eat this. I don't eat that. So I was telling all these things to everybody from morning 9 o'clock until 10:30, 10:45. Everybody is coming and asking me, come on, you should come. So I said, no, we don't eat meat. It's all violence, and we don't accept all these things. And then at the same time, in 5 minutes, I get an email from ISKCON Columbus inviting Lord Nrsimha's appearance. So I just opened the email and there is big Nrsimha picture, tearing up all the blood and intestines and things. And then 2 people pops up and like, what did you say? What did you say? You don't eat meat and you don't like violence? Who is that on your screen? I'm like, that's Krishna. They're like, that's not Krishna, because most of the people know us in India who is Krishna. I said, it's Krishna, but he's in a loving, beautiful form of killing Hiranyakashipu. You just have to have devotion to see that picture. You need to have that love to see that picture. So it's not like Nrsimha, that most of our ISKCON devotees also, as soon as you sit in the car to go out, or you just going in a train, first thing is what? As soon as the train starts moving, as soon as the car starts moving, everybody starts Namaste Nrsimha, right? Because we know in the back of our minds that he's the protector. It is not like one thing that we need to understand. Distance? Okay. So one thing that we need to understand is not only that he's going to protect us from, different calamities that comes, but he's also going to clear the path in our devotional life. Like we can ask him to remove the obstacles in our spiritual life. So I was listening to one of the Brahmachari's lectures on Nrsimha's appearance day. He was saying when you ask Nrsimha to remove the obstacles from the path of spiritual life, Nrsimha goes into ecstasy because he is so happy. At least finally one person asked me about this, and then I am part of Lord Chaitanya's movement right now. Because I'm trying to remove the obstacles in the path of bhakti. Not just every time I'm going my car, make sure I don't hit another car, another car don't hit me. So finally somebody asking me to remove the obstacles in the path of bhakti. And Nrsimha will be very happy to do that. But the only thing is we have to have that faith. So in India, one student actually, he was a student, so he was new to the movement. I'm doing all these little stories that we come into the mood. So he was a student and he was newly introduced to ISKCON and he was going, and his parents are not very happy, but somehow his father started coming with him to the temple, and then he took his father to Mayapur. Most of us know Mayapur is in West Bengal, where our wonderful deity of Lord Nrsimha resides, right? So, and then his father asked him, because every time when he goes to temple in wherever he stays, it stays Radha Krishna playing flute or Gaurani Thai, Jagannath Bali Subhadra. They don't have a big deity of Nrsimha where they were staying. But he took him to Mayapur, and then he sees this Nrsimha, ferocious Nrsimha. And then he asks his son, who is this? And then he tried to explain, oh, he's Krishna himself, but he's in this form. And so he introduced him to another devotee. He also explained the appearance of Lord Nrsimha and things, but he's not convinced. His father is not convinced. He's not Krishna. That's all. His conclusion is he is not Krishna. Krishna is, he's beautiful and calm and peaceful, and he's not Krishna. So they went back home, home in the sense back to the room. Next day they came for Mangalarti. So when they came for Mangalarti, when they're singing Nrsimha prayers, his father was looking at Nrsimha, but his father could see Madhav's face on Nrsimha. He could not see Nrsimha anymore. He could see Madhav's face. And then he turned and looked at Madhav, he could see Nrsimha's face when he's trying to take darshan of Madhav's face. So he went back and forth, Madhav to Nrsimha, Nrsimha to Madhav. It's like the animation for him, Here you come, you see Nrsimha, here you go, you see Madhav's face. So he finally came to conclusion that Nrsimha is trying to reveal to him that he is Krishna himself. So he offered his prostrated obeisances and accepted that Nrsimha was Krishna himself. So that is one thing. And then another thing is, most of us know in Russia, in the beginning of the ISKCON preaching, it was not very easy for them to preach. Especially Russian devotees, what they went through. We even have a book. What is that book? Bread and Salt and Bread, something like that. Yeah. So their difficulties that they went through, how much they went through to preach and things. So most of the devotees were imprisoned initially because they don't want them to preach, and they used to harass them so much, and they used to give them bread, right? But devotees, they were not allowed to chant on beads, so they used to make that bread dry and then make balls out of the bread, round balls, and then you string those balls to some thread or something, and then they used to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra on those beads. We have all the facilities in our life. We have wonderful beads. Wherever you go, we have stone. But we are in difficulty to chant. But anyway, but those devotees are very committed. They used to get up and chant Mangalarti prayers every day. Morning 4 o'clock, they get up and they do Mangalarti. To the wall only they do. Some devotee pretends as if he's doing Arati. Some devotee pretends as if he's throwing flowers and giving Arati to people. Like that they used to chant. But the security, they are so irritated one day, they said, can you please stop doing this? We don't like you to chant all these things in the morning. And they said, sorry, we cannot stop. So what they did was, the next day, after a few days, they got these squad dogs, the bulldogs, big dogs, it's like, they look like horses, it seems. So big. So they brought those dogs and they showed it to the devotees, and they told them, if you don't stop, we're going to open the cell and release these dogs into the cell. And then we're not going to tell you what they're going to do you. Because we train them to kill people, we train them to harass people. So, but these devotees at that point of time, they just finished Mangalacharana prayers. And then what is next comes after Mangalacharana prayers? Nrsimha prayers. They did not stop. They said, we don't care. You want to release the dogs? Release them. So they started chanting Nrsimha prayers with intensity and love and devotion. And then these security people, they opened the gates and then they released the dogs inside. Once the dogs went inside, we don't believe what happened. The dogs started fighting with each other. They completely neglected the devotees who were chanting Nrsimha prayers, and the dogs, they were fighting with each other. And the security who is standing outside, they were like, what happened? They never behaved like this before. This is the first time we are seeing they're fighting with each other. They used to go and attack the victims. Why they're fighting with each other? They were fighting so bad that the security got scared that once they get them out, they're going to kill them. So they immediately went inside, they pulled the dogs out, and then they just put them back into the square area where they had to belong to. So Nrsimha Dev is always there for our protection, and he is ready to protect us as long as we have that faith and belief that he is the Lord of our protection. So in the 7th canto, so there are so many chapters of Nrsimha Dev's appearance, so many chapters of Prahlad prayers, so many chapters are dedicated. But see, if you take Lord Nrsimha Dev's pastime, it is so many emotions involved in the pastime. Most of the time we try to neglect, and our mind gets carried away. As soon as speakers start saying, Jaya and Vijay were servants in Vishnuloka, and then we are already gone. So I know what happened, they got hurt, they came down, they did and then it's gone. But we don't try to put our energy to understand the emotion in the pastime, which helps us a lot to go forward in spiritual life. So if you see the emotion in the pastime, Nrsimha Dev, like Hiranyakashipu is what? Hiranyakashipu's emotion is all pride, anger, arrogance, that I want to control everything. And if you take Prahlad's emotion is gentle, kind to everyone, very soft natured. And then when you take Nrsimha Dev, he is kind of mixed both, right? He's both together. So we'll unfold those emotions as we go. But the thing is, these emotions are there, so it gets attracted to the conditioned source. Conditioned source gets attracted to these emotions. Nowadays, if you see any video games or anything, there is no video game that says cross this river, go into here, pick that flower, do this, do this. None of the video games are like that these days. All the video games are like shoot, kill, blast, like you see all this blood coming over the screen. All these things, violence. People are so much into violence, right? So Krishna is saying, okay, if you want violence, Mama, I have violence, take it. You can't imagine what kind of violence I have that nobody else can imitate me in this material world right now with whatever violence they want to do. So that attracts the conditioned soul and it purifies them. It's not just attracting for the violence, but that kind of violence that Krishna created, it purifies the conditioned souls. So they can go back to Godhead. So anyway, so coming to the story, as you all know, Jaya and Vijay are both gatekeepers in Vaikuntha. So one day 4 Kumaras, they came to take darshan of Lord Vishnu. And then Jaya and Vijay objected them saying, what darshan you take? Because they're 4-year-old, 5-year-old boys kind of, but they wanted to stop, they don't want their body to grow. So they said, no, we don't allow you. So then they tried to explain it to them, who they are, why they wanted to take darshan. But still Jaya and Vijay don't listen. So the 4 Kumaras curses Jaya and Vijay, saying that if we have the discrimination, this is not the place to be here. So you go and take birth in the Bhuloka, which is earthly planet. Then Vishnu comes out. And he says, yes, you did the mistake, sorry. on behalf of my servants, I apologize to you. So, and then he tells Jay and Vijay, we have two conditions, two options basically, not conditions. Either you take 7 births as my, friends or devotees, but otherwise you take 3 births as my enemies, and you can come back after that. So then Jay and Vijay agreed to have 3 births. So the first birth they take as Ravana and Kumbhakarna, who are killed by Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So killed by Varaha, and then Nrsimha and Ravana and Kumbhakarna killed by Lord Ramchandra, and then Shishupal and Dantavakra. So the whole conversation of this Nrsimha pastime starts by Narada Muni talking to Yudhishthira during Rajasuya Yajna. So he puts that question that because when Krishna kills Shishupal, so why did Krishna kill Shishupal? Because Yudhishthira wanted to know who is eligible for Agar Puja. When he is doing the Rajasuya sacrifice, he wanted to pick one person to be qualified for the Agar Puja. So he was asking that question to Bhishma Dev and everybody, who is qualified? So everybody anonymously says Krishna. But one person is not happy, who is Shishupal. But Shishupal has a curse in the beginnings. It's not a curse, but it's a kind of benediction that Krishna gave to his mom, saying that I'll forgive him for 100 mistakes. And after that, next mistake I'm going to kill him. Because his mom knows, Shishupal's mom knows that he's going to be killed by Krishna. So Shishupal is very careful, very, very careful, like Hare Krishna devotees. I don't want to chant not more than 16 rounds. Right? Pull the beats very carefully, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60, and that's it. Not more than that. So Shishupal was very careful like us. Not more. I don't want to commit 100. But that particular day, it was like a festive day. You walk around and chant. Sometimes you really don't count, and you just sit in the car and chant. You don't really count. Those days, one of those days of Hare Krishna lives. So Shishupal was lost in the Vrajabhakti Yajna. He started blaspheming Krishna, one. But Krishna is Supreme Personality of God, and he doesn't need the counter. So he was counting. So as soon as the 100 mistakes were over, people can see Sudarshan Chakra coming into his hand, and then zoom, leaving his hand, and then cutting off Shishupal's hand. So at that point of time, Yudhishthira got, he was like, what is this? And then they see Shishupal's body, the light came and merged into Krishna's body. Then he asks Narada Muni, how is this? Krishna is giving mercy like this. He is blaspheming Krishna. So that's when he started narrating Lord Nrsimha's pastime and Prahlad's pastime. So, but anyway. So Hiranyaksha, we'll start with Hiranyaksha very briefly, very little bit, 2-3 sentences. Hiranyaksha was brother of Hiranyakashipu. But he just goes and disturbs all the Brahmins and this and that. He was doing all kinds of mess, in our language to say. So finally he abducts earth, and then he puts the earth into the ocean. So that time Varaha Dev comes, Lord Varaha comes to protect the earth, and then he kills Hiranyaksha. So now Hiranyakashipu comes to know that Hiranyaksha got killed, and he gets very upset. He gets very upset, saying Vishnu is the enemy for us. And then, but the relatives, they don't understand the philosophy during difficult times, right? That's one of the things that even in our movement, in our community, in our relationships with the devotees, that's one thing that we need to learn also. When something happens, at what point of time they don't need Bhagavatam classes. Right? When people are in need, emotional need, at that point of time we try to console, we try to give comfort to them, in whatever way we can, but not too much philosophy to them. But what in Hiranyakashipu, the way Hiranyakashipu is explaining the philosophy, if you are reading Bhagavatam, at certain point of time you will get doubt, who is actually speaking all this? And then you go back and see, it's actually Hiranyakashipu who is speaking all this philosophy to the relative, saying he's the soul, he's not the body, don't worry, body, like the Dehinvasmin Yadha Deha, he's quoting all the Bhagavad Gita shlokas and everything. But what is the problem with Hiranyakashipu? He do not have the realization for that knowledge. He is just proud, and he wants to control everything. But anyway, so he promises to his relatives at that point of time, don't worry, as an older brother of Hiranyaksha, I am going to kill Vishnu and I will take the revenge. But how to kill Vishnu? So one day he was sitting in his one second. Yeah. So one day he was sitting in his, home and then worried what to do, where to start. I have to go and kill this Vishnu, but where to start? Then Narada comes. Narada comes singing glories of Lord Narayan, glories of Lord Hari, and then Hiranyakashipu gets more mad. He's like, why are you singing? Don't sing the glories of Lord Narayan. You are not allowed to sing those glories. You have to say, Om Hiranyakshaya Namaha, no Lord Narayan. And then Narada Muni says, I cannot help it. I cannot stop singing the glories of Lord Narayan. So Hiranyaksha, he used to have one sword. That sword known is Chandrahasya, the sword. So whenever he wanted to kill someone, the sword automatically comes out of his, whatever you call this place. Sorry, Rukmini, I can't even say how to say it. So it comes out of it, and then it goes, kills that person, and it will find some water body, a river, a canal or something. It washes itself, and then it comes back and sits back. So Narada Muni, and then Hiranyaksha warns Narada Muni, listen, you better listen to me, otherwise you don't know what my Chandrahasya used to do. Narada says, I don't care, do whatever you want to do, So and then Chandrahasya comes out, and then it goes through Narada's body, and then nothing happens to Narada. The sword goes through and comes out, and then the sword thought, okay, there's nothing, so I don't need to clean myself. So it goes back and sits with Hiranyakashipu. And the Hiranyakashipu is like, what is this? Who are you? What happened? How did you do that? And then he explains the glories of Lord Narayan. But he says, but I wanted to kill Lord Narayan, so what do you want me to do? He says, okay, go perform penances, go off and do austerities, and then you may get the benedictions to power and strength to kill Vishnu. So he goes to do the penances, but the penances and austerities that Hiranyakashipu did were unimaginable. Right? He was standing on one leg, and then his hands raised. So, but like that he stood for almost thousands of years. And he stood like that, the ants were crawling on him, the bugs were eating him, but he did not even move. So the ants made an ant hill, and then the ants ate all the flesh on his body. But his power of austerity, penances, was so strong, he could be able to hold that soul in the skeletal bones, in the skeleton. See, these days we also do penances, right? We also do penances for Hiranya, which is money, and Kashipu, which is money for sex life. So we also do it. We also do penances and austerities, but it's for our own sense gratification. That's the same thing Hiranyaksha was also doing. But the ants ate his whole body so badly, so there is nothing left. So finally, because of the power of the austerity, the heat started coming off his body. And then it started going, it created disturbance in the demigods. They're like, where is this heat coming from? What is going on? Oh my God, so they went to Brahma. They said, Brahma, do something. This is unbearable. What is going on? Go give the benediction to whatever he wants. Just go and do it. And then Lord Brahma comes to see Hiranyakashipu, but he doesn't find him. Where is he? But he then sees that skeleton body, and then he puts some celestial water, and then Hiranyakashipu revives his own body. And then he offers wonderful, wonderful prayers to Lord Brahma. And then Brahma says, okay, what do you want? What benediction you want? So first thing he asks is, I want to be immortal. And then Brahma says, forget it. Even I cannot be immortal. What can I do for you? Like we can give something to someone when you have it. So Brahma says, I cannot even, one day I have to die too. Maybe my day is little longer than you, but I have to die also. So I cannot give you that benediction. So then he says, okay, I don't want it to be killed by any. First thing he asks is, I don't want to be killed in water. Because where did Hiranyaksha got killed? In water. So he was very scared already about water. So first thing he asks is, I don't want to be killed in water. Second thing he asks is, I don't want to be killed by any animal. He asks, why animal? Then he says, Varaha. Varaha came in the form of a boar. So I don't want to be killed by any animal. Then he goes, and I don't want to kill in the day, kill by day and night, this weapon, that weapon. And I don't want to be killed by any living entity that you created. Already done, right? Saraswati Devi twisted the tongue, already done. So he asks all these benedictions. And then Brahma says, I hope you will have a good life. Whatever you want, I'll give you. So once he gets that strength, once he gets those benedictions, then Hiranyakashipu, now he becomes more crazy. Right? He orders his soldiers and everybody, go kill all the cows, go disturb all the yajnas and sacrifices that Brahmanas are doing. So that's what happens sometimes in our lives also. We practice devotional service with so much rules and so much regulations, with so much austerity. And then once we get to some power, some seniority, we totally forget Krishna. Krishna, we keep aside Krishna, and then we try to address our pride, we try to address our own ego, we try to address our own arrogance and everything. We totally forget Krishna. Krishna is secondary now, because I have the power now. So that's what Hiranyakashipu was trying to do. He got the power, now he totally forgot what Brahma gave, what Brahma, who is Shiva. He did not go attack them, but he attacked all the demigods. Right? He occupied all the demigod planets and everything. He got so powerful that he don't need to say, Prabhu, can you switch on the fan? Prabhu, can you switch on the AC? Or either call the TC and say, Prabhu, AC is not working, nothing. He feels hot, he says, Vayu. And then Vayu comes and just brings that cool breeze. And then if he's going somewhere and he thinks the sun is too much and he just lifts his eyebrow and looks at the sun. Sun understands and he covers himself and then gives the clouds. Right? And if it's raining outside and if he wants to go and have fun in his garden, he looks at Varuna. Varuna immediately stops. And then the sun god comes out and gives him nice sun, and so he can walk in the garden. And that much control he has on demigods. So much control. Nothing could stop him. No demigod could fight him. But then same thing in our lives, it always says there will be one person in our lives who can humiliate us so much that we really want to go shelter of Krishna. So similarly in Hiranyakashipu's life, he has 4 sons. And then but one little one, 5-year-old, it's like Balaram, right? 5-year-old. He could not stop Prahlad. That 5-year-old son Prahlad is very gentle and kind, and he's always immersed in the absorption of Krishna, absorption of Lord Vishnu. So he's very worried about Prahlad. He thinks that he's dumb, he's ignorant, he doesn't know anything, he doesn't know how to deal with the world outside, how this child is going to live. Oh my God, like parents sometimes we are worried, how this child is going to grow and live. He doesn't know this, he doesn't know that. Even after they become, all these Prabhus who are now 48, 49, 50 years old, go talk to their moms, they will tell you. First thing they will tell is he doesn't know anything. Even after they have kids, their kids are becoming 20, 18 years old, still their moms doesn't know anything. Right? So Hiranyakashipu was 5-year-old Prahlad, and he doesn't know anything, what he's going to do. So he calls his teachers, gurus, and he said, take Prahlad and teach him Rajaniti, political knowledge, politics, diplomacy and everything. And they says, no problem, we will take care of it. So they take Prahlad to the Gurukul, and then after some time, obviously they are teachers and he's the king, so they wanted to prove that they really taught Prahlad nice diplomacy and politics. So they bring Prahlad one day to present before Hiranyakashipu. And Hiranyakashipu misses his son so much because he was in Gurukul for a long time. And he takes him, put him on his lap, and he smells his head, he kisses him and do everything. And says, my dear son, sweet Prahlad, what did you learn in Gurukul? And then what is the first thing he says? He says that whoever is attached in this world to the material desires and material life, they are not going to be successful in life. So you better go to Vrindavan and do austerities and take shelter of Vishnu. Because shelter of Vishnu is the only thing that can protect us from all these calamities, from all this birth and death and old age and disease. Hiranyakashipu laughs. He laughs and says, what happened to you? You are speaking all renounced philosophy, what is this? And then Prahlad says, I'm not speaking philosophy. I'm telling you the fact. I'm telling you the truth. Please understand the truth. And then go to Vrindavan, leave everything and take shelter of Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu gets so mad. And he looks at the gurus and he says, what nonsense you taught to my son. I told you to teach him politics and diplomacy and how to be a king and how to, expand the kingdom and all these things. What did you teach him? And then the guru says, we did not teach him anything. We don't know where he got this knowledge from. And then he says, okay, take him back. Take him back, teach him nicely this time. And then they take Prahlad back to Gurukul. And they let Prahlad sit. And then they tell him, where are you getting this knowledge from? We are not teaching you this. Where are you getting this from? Why are you saying all that? That's not what we taught you all these years, all these months in Gurukul. And then Prahlad says, why are you speaking like this? You are Brahmanas. You should be knowing what I am speaking. Right? So you are teaching the wrong thing and I am not ready to learn that. And then they just try to, threaten him. They try to do this and they say, no, listen now. Listen carefully now. Next time when we go, you should be able to present what we say. So they teach again, and meanwhile what happens, Prahlad cannot sit idle, cannot start thinking of Krishna. That is his weakness, that he cannot stop thinking of Krishna. Our weakness is, we cannot think of Krishna. Right? So we have that weakness. We have to really struggle to think of Krishna. He has to really struggle to stop thinking about Krishna, but he could not stop. But anyway, when they have recess time in our language, and the gurus goes out to take bath or to just relax for a little bit, Prahlad used to preach to his fellow classmates. How to take shelter of Vishnu, how Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, how he is the source of everything. So slowly, the boys, the demon boys basically, they started liking Prahlad's classes more than their own guru's classes. So they used to say, you don't teach us, we wanted to listen to Prahlad. So one day when they went outside, both gurus, by the time they came, they were having Sankirtan. All boys and Prahlad, they were just a lot of Sankirtan. The gurus were shocked. And they took on the same day back to Hiranyakashipu to present Prahlad. Then they warned him. Now you tell what we taught you. Don't tell what you know. And then again, same thing. This time they took him to his mother. So his mother nicely decorated Prahlad, beautifully sweet baby boy, And then they present again Prahlad to Hiranyakashipu. So now Hiranyakashipu asks again, so what did you learn? Now you tell me. After all that, whatever happened, my son, forget it. But just tell me what did you learn? Then Prahlad says, one who worships Vishnu through the 9 devotional processes, Smaranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Vandanam, Pada Sevanam, all these 9 devotional processes, they certainly attain Vishnu. And he says, my dear father, if you pick up any one of these processes, you can perfect your life. So please meditate on Vishnu through one of these 9 devotional processes. This time Hiranyakashipu was lost. He is like, you are meditating on my enemy and you are telling me also to meditate on my enemy. This is too much. And he threw Prahlad from his lap and then he calls his gods. And he says, take this child, do what you do, I don't know what you want to do, but kill this child. This child is infame to my dynasty, I don't want this child to be alive. Go kill him. So the security guards take him, and then they try all kinds of things. They try to put him in fire, he comes out of the fire. They try to throw him from the mountains into the ocean, and then he comes out. And when they throw him, when they were putting in the fire, Hiranyakashipu was actually watching it, because Hiranyakashipu's sister, she had the boon that fire cannot touch her. So they gave Prahlad to her, and they tell her to go sit in the fire with Prahlad, because Prahlad is going to get burnt and he can come out of the fire, because he's not going to touch with the benediction that she has. So she goes, sits in the fire. But what happened? The opposite way. Prahlad did not get burned, but she started getting burning, and she started screaming, Brahma, Brahma, you gave me false benediction, you are false, you are false. Then Brahma comes and he says, I gave the benediction to protect yourself. I did not give the benediction to kill Vishnu's devotees. So because you are trying to misuse that benediction, it came back to you. So she dies. So now Hiranyakashipu gets mad and he says, take him and throw him from the mountains or throw him in the ocean. So they try to throw him from such high mountains, but then who is catching him? Vishnu. But one thing that we need to understand here is, through all these difficulties that he is going through all these things that gods were doing to Prahlad, not at any one point of time he did not pray to Vishnu to protect him. He did not say, oh Vishnu, please, now they are going to throw me from the mountains. I meditate upon you. Just because of you, I am going to be thrown from these mountains. Please save me. No, he did not say that. All the time when they are harassing him and they are doing it, he was only praying and trying to remember the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So in our lives, we get into so many difficulties. We get into so many, calamities. And first thing what we do, first question is why? Why? I'm chanting 16 rounds every day, following regulative principles. I'm going to temple Sunday feast every Sunday without fail. But why this difficulty has come to my life? Why this calamity has come to my life? I am coming every Sunday feast here. I'm chanting 16 rounds. Somehow or the other, attentiveness, forget it. So somehow or the other, I'm trying to chant 16 rounds. Krishna, you are obliged to protect me. Right? Because we think that Krishna, we are obliged because I have this laundry list that I am doing. You have laundry list, it's like mutual exchange. One of the exchanges that Rupa Goswami described, this, I am giving you, you give me. So you need to protect me. Why you are not protecting me? First thing we question Krishna, forget about the other thing. And then we start thinking, why I did this, why I have to do this, why I have to do that, I am doing this. I am not supposed to get this difficulty based on the qualification that I have through this devotional process. That's our attitude most of the time. We never say when the difficulty comes, folded hands, thank you Krishna for giving me this difficulty. One time my spiritual master, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj said, when we try to pray to Krishna, when you get into difficulty, I never forget this, right? When we have a problem and we try to pray to Krishna, Krishna, please save me from this problem, please protect me, I am so disturbed, I cannot take this problem anymore, please protect me. Maharaj said, Krishna will protect you for sure because he is Bhakta Vatsala, you are praying to him and he is protector of the devotees, so he will protect you from that problem. But he will pick you up and put you into another one. Because based on, we have to empty our karma. It's not like Krishna wanted you to put those difficulties. He has nothing to do with our problems. It's all the bank account that we are carrying, millions of dollars, millions of karma dollars basically. All those karma dollars that were coming life after life, life after life. We don't want to withdraw only. We keep depositing those karma dollars. So finally we decided to withdraw, and when withdrawing it's painful. Oh, I don't want to withdraw this one, Krishna. I didn't expect this one. I expected a $20 bill. I don't want a $100 bill. I wanted $20, but that ATM machine gives only $100 at that time, right? So Krishna, we say, Krishna, how come $100? I want only $20. I don't want this much difficulty. I want only this little bit difficulty. You have no choice. because we have to empty that bag. But Krishna is there with us. When we are trying to walk on those stones or thorns through the difficulty, Krishna is also walking with us. His lotus feet is very soft, but he's trying to walk with us through those difficulties, trying to see the pain. See, when we get fever or anything, we are not that worried, right? But when the child gets fever or cold, mother is more painful. So similarly, Krishna is more painful to see our pain than, he's not going to enjoy that pain. Anyway, so then they threw him in the ocean. He came out of the mountains, then he threw him into the ocean. And then Prahlad's mother was like, she was totally upset that you took my son and you were trying to kill him. But then he comes walking into the palace, and then Hiranyakashipu is like, what happened? How come you came back? The gods told me that they threw you into the middle of the ocean. And then Prahlad says, the ocean is my Vishnu's abode, it's my grandfather's place, so I just played and came. I went for a play day. And Hiranyakashipu gets, he's like, now I'm done. I am not going to ask anybody to kill you. I am going to do myself. So then Hiranyakashipu gets poison, concentrated poison that can kill like probably 100 men. So he takes that cup of poison and gives it to Prahlad. He says, you drink it. And Prahlad happily drinks the poison. But then what happened? Nothing. Prahlad is alive, Prahlad is standing there, and then Hiranyakashipu, he could not understand what's going on. It's like, you try to attempt a quiz online. How many other times you do that particular one question is always false. Right? You try to fill in the blank, something guessing, again false, again false, again false. You're like, forget it, I may fail, So Hiranyakashipu was totally lost. What is this? Where are you getting this strength from? And then Prahlad politely says, Father, I'm getting the strength from the same source that you are getting the strength from. And he says, what do you mean? And he says, our source is Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu is giving the strength to everyone. Everywhere he is there, He's pervaded everywhere. And then Hiranyakashipu gets mad. What do you mean he's everywhere? What do you mean he's giving strength to everyone? So he's in this pillar. And then Prahlad says, yes, he is there in the pillar because Vishnu is everywhere. But try to understand, it's not like drama, right? Vishnu Nrsimha is outside the door, and then audience are sitting there. When it says time, and then Nrsimha pulls the door and says, Yahoo! And something like that, right? It's not a drama. Nrsimha is not prepared with his dress and, everything, makeup and everything in the pillar. No, he was not. As soon as Prahlad said, he is in the pillar, Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, he said, I'm there in the pillar, I need to rush. So he rushed. But then when he's rushing, it's not like one thing, right? When somebody calls you, Mata, can you do the offering? Just watch it in one case, it's not like that. Right? It's not just Achaman. It is like, now I'm going. It is Prahlad's word that I'm in this pillar. That's one devotee's word. Who is the other devotee? Now, Brahma, he needs to think about Brahma. He said he cannot kill by a weapon, he cannot kill by a man, he cannot kill by an animal, he cannot kill in the day, night, this, that. Krishna is like too much logic, I need to do all this. So I need to go in a form that fulfills all these benedictions of Brahma and also benediction of Prahlad. So he comes in the pillar, and then Hiranyakashipu says, if he's in the pillar, let me see if he comes out. And then he hits the pillar with his mace. And then wherever the pillar cracks with the mace, Lord Nrsimha comes out. Lord Nrsimha Bhagavan ki Jai! And then what Nrsimha comes out, Hiranyakashipu is like, what is that? He is not a human. He is not an animal. Who is that? And then but Prahlad could recognize Vishnu. So he started folding his hands and praying, and then Lord Nrsimha was ferocious, angry, and then Hiranyakashipu thinks he doesn't have any weapons in his hand, what he is going to do. But before that, Sudarshan Chakra, all these weapons that Vishnu has, they all come first. And they will come first and say, please allow us to serve you. Now you are going to do one pastime, please allow us to serve you. And the Lord Vishnu says that Brahma, he gave the benediction that he cannot be killed by any weapon. But if you have the desire to serve me, if you have the desire to help in this Leela, go under my nails. So all those weapons are under his nails, in the form of nails, but it's not a weapon, but they're all into the nails. So, and then the fight starts. Hiranyakashipu was trying to fight with the mace and this and that, and Nrsimha was roaring with anger, shaking, shivering with anger, and then he picks up Hiranyakashipu. Right? It is described that Hiranyakashipu. So let me tell you this before. So one day Krishna wanted to test Bhima, because Bhima thinks he's all powerful and nobody can beat him. So Krishna takes him to a big golden mountain, and he says, you are such a powerful person, huh? Pull this mountain, lift this mountain up. And Bhima tries so hard to lift that mountain, and he's like, what is this? And he tries so hard this way, that way, all these push-ups and pull-ups and whatnot, so everything, and he could not move it. And then he looks at Krishna and he says, what is this? What is this mountain? And then Krishna says, that is the earring of Hiranyakashipu. Right? So just imagine the Hiranyakashipu's personality. That is the earring of Hiranyakashipu, that big golden mountain that Bhima could not move. So he says, that's one earring of Hiranyakashipu. That's the person I killed. That's what Krishna says. I killed in the form of Nrsimha. We couldn't even move his earring. So coming back to pastime, so Lord Nrsimha picks up Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu gets stuck under his nail. Like when you eat something, it gets stuck under your nail. Hiranyakashipu gets stuck under Lord Nrsimha's nail. So imagine Nrsimha's personality. Hiranyakashipu's earring is a mountain, and he got stuck under the nail of Lord Nrsimha. So he went and he was looking, where is he? Lord Nrsimha is looking, where is he? He was trying to hold him up, like, where is he? And then he saw he's under the nail, and then he pulls him back again with the nail. He like flip it, like you flip the grain. So he flips it, and then the fight goes for a long time, and then finally Lord Nrsimha picks Hiranyakashipu and put him on his lap. It's not neither ground nor the sky, and if you don't have any weapons, it is not the day, it is not the night, it's twilight. And then what is the other benediction he said? He's not in the house, not outside the house. So he's exactly at the door, not inside, not outside. And then no weapons. And any living being that created by you, Brahma, Lord Vishnu has nothing to do with it. And then what happens? So another thing is, when Hiranyakashipu was praying, these people, when they meditate, a lot of people get Sayucha Mukti. This one I heard it through the lecture. I cannot show you the Praman in the Bhagavatam. This is from a Prabhu's lecture that I heard. So they said, when you go to that space, the Brahma Jyoti, whoever goes there, they get a red color garland, it seems. I don't know what garland is that. So Hiranyakashipu, when he was ripped apart, Nrsimha ripped apart Hiranyakashipu's stomach, he was like, okay, I need some red garland. So where is the garland? Nobody is giving me garland, no hospitality in this palace, right? So he's like, okay, I'll garland myself. So he pulls out intestines. Before he puts the intestines in his neck, he looks at the intestines. Is there any other Prahlad in these intestines? And then he put the intestines, and then he puts Hiranyakashipu. Nrsimha Bhagavan ki jai. And then all these demigods comes, and then they were trembling. They were trembling looking at, because he was with blood and he was screaming and shaking and he's still so angry. And then all the demigods goes to Goddess Lakshmi and says, Mata, please, tell your husband to be quiet, my God, everything is over now, just tell him to be calm, quiet. And then Lakshmi says, Whose husband? What are you talking, you know? I don't know him. I never saw him before. And then they says, no, he is not Vishnu Mata, he is in the next. I cannot go near him. I never saw him in that form and I don't know. I don't want to go near him. And then Brahma comes to Prahlad. And then he asks Prahlad, he came for you. You know, you go and offer prayers. And then Prahlad started offering wonderful, wonderful prayers to Lord Nrsimha. And then Nrsimha, listening to those prayers, he picks up Prahlad and he blesses him. And then he asks Prahlad, what kind of benediction you want, Prahlad? Anything I will give you. And then Prahlad says, I don't want to do business. I don't want to do any business. I just want to be your eternal servant. But Lord Vishnu gives him the instruction that you rule first these many years and then you will come back to me eventually at the end. So Lord Nrsimha appeared because of the absorption that Prahlad has for Lord Vishnu, for Nrsimha. So on this auspicious day, please, all of us, let us pray at the lotus feet of Lord Nrsimha so that he also removes the obstacles in the path of our bhakti and gives the benediction of that absorption to us, so we also can become servant of Sri Radha Madhava. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Our next part of the program is the Kirtan, so we all can stand up for the Kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Vrajabhakti